Hello everyone and welcome back again. In today's video, I want to go over a couple of notes just to follow up from the last one. I also want to look at the final process of installation and power on. Next, I want to look at system performance. And then finally, by popular request, I'd like to go over the financial aspect of owning solar. So a couple of notes to get started. Number one is thank you to the 113 subscribers that we have listed on the channel. And we are so excited to see that almost 23,000 of you have been able to view the video. We're so glad our story is hopefully helping some folks out. We've had almost 800 views a day. That's been just simply astounding. Next, a thank you to those who have requested quotes using our link. So we've got 5 folks so far that are listed who are interested in their own solar array. And then finally, thank you to Tesla for sending out this Nest along with our installation. Immediately after our installation, we were scheduled for a county inspection of the system. The inspector took maybe 5 minutes to look at the house. After that, Tesla informed us that everything had been submitted to our energy company for approval and that we just needed to wait for a couple more weeks. Now, one aesthetic note. On Tesla's website, they claim that the panels have a sleek, low-profile design. And as you can see here, there's probably a 2 to 3 inch gap. So I would say that is true. So Tesla quoted us 4 to 6 weeks to get the system entirely switched on. It did in fact take 5.5 weeks for us to get permission to operate. But we finally did. Now, in the case that you need help in switching your system on, the energy advisor will sometimes make themselves available to you. In our case, we didn't see the need for help, considering that you just need to switch on all the switches. The one next to your electric panel, the 2 that are outside in our case, and switching on the Tesla gateway. Immediately after you get things powered on, you can go onto Tesla's website to see your production. So in this particular case, you see that we produce some 85.6 kilowatt hours, but our household only used 16.7 kilowatts. And you see that during the beginning of our day that we left quite early, and then you see we got home around 1 o'clock-ish, and that's when you can see the chores and all that starting. We're running the oven, running the dryer, running the air conditioning, etc. During the evening time. And then you'll see that the day is not complete yet because I took this screen capture around that 6 o'clock mark. Now, one other thing that you'll see there is that we have all that extra energy that we did not use. I don't know if this is true for everyone, but in our case, those credits get stored on our SMECO account, and they get held over for the days when we don't produce enough energy for our home. In the case we get to the end of the year and we still have kilowatt hours in our account that we have not used, SMECO gives us 8 cents per kilowatt hour. And now onto performance. So we're looking here at Tesla's mobile app, and you can see that we're using 0.3 kilowatts of energy. But I'm going to go ahead and switch on the dryer, and then what you'll see is the difference here in kilowatt usage. So you can see there, but we jumped up to 5.7. It's going to take a moment to stabilize. And now let's switch over and switch on the air conditioning. And switch back over to the Tesla app. And now you can see that little bit of spike there where it goes up to 7.7 and it'll bounce around a little bit between, 7.5 to 8.0. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and switch on the washer. And then I'm going to start running around the entire house, switching on every light switch and fan that I possibly can. But what you can see basically is that the amount of power that's coming in, 12.7 kilowatts from the sun, we're using about 8 kilowatts throughout the house, and we're sending all of the leftover energy back to the grid. Now, to wrap up the performance aspect of this video, we were initially quoted solar panels that would produce 300 watts at their peak. We actually received panels that would produce 325 watts at their peak. So we should see about an 8% improvement over our initial quote. And so here are the results. In the month of June, we actually produced 1,900 kilowatt hours when we were estimated to produce 1,750, which is a 9% improvement over the quote that we received. All right, now, by popular demand, so many people have been asking about the financial aspect of owning solar. So just a couple of basics to get started with. Number one, we bought solar to produce and store energy to meet our energy need. We did not opt for solar as an investment. Now, obviously things have to make financial sense. I do not own $100,000 Model X. I own a $15,000 car. Now, I bought it at $15,000, and yet 2 years, maybe 3 years later, it's now worth about $8,000 or $9,000. Now that is a terrible investment. Similarly, I bought an iPhone several years ago for about $650. To trade it in today, it's worth maybe $250 to $300. Now, in just a couple of years, what a terrible investment both of those are. But now, we don't question the purchase of a car or the purchase of a cell phone because of the benefits of owning both. The car allows us to get to and from work, to and from shops and stores. The phone allows us to stay in contact with family, but also is used for business use. The idea is that it meets its particular need. In the same way, solar has to make logical sense. So one, I would not buy a $50,000 solar array in the case that it did not meet our energy need. I also would not overspend on a product that is going to waste itself away quickly. So our estimation, and from others that we've seen, the panel system should last us for about 25 years, and maybe have 80% capacity when we get down to the end of it. But nonetheless, with other upgrades around the home, that should still be able to sustain us. Moving on to number 2. So the numbers that I'm going to show you today do include tax credits from both federal and local government. So those have already been factored in. Last but not least, I just want to note that we do not mind, absolutely do not mind any question concerning any part of our install or financials. I will do my best, as long as YouTube notifies me of your comments, to respond to you. So feel free to ask away. Okay, and so here's our initial quote. Now, Tesla took about 3 months of our bills. That's what they requested from us. And they estimated that throughout the year, we spend $191 per month on average. Now, we found this to be very inaccurate. So our Tesla solar quote is there in yellow for $240. So I got in contact with Smecco before we signed the deal with Tesla. And here's what we found. My actual average bill around the house is $292. So we are now saving approximately $52 on average per month throughout the year. So in total, if we were to say that all things are going to remain equal for the next 20 years, and let's also assume that I'm going to pay every dollar of interest on the loan that we received, I would pay a total of $57,600 for solar. But because I wouldn't be saving that $50-some per month using the regular old grid, we would have paid $70,080. We're saving about 18% on the bill that we would have paid over the next 20 years being connected to the grid. I want to say thank you again for watching the video here. It is our pleasure to share our story and to share any information that we can. Feel free to leave questions down below. I'll get to them as quickly and frequently as I can. And then also let us know what you'd like to see in the next video. And thanks again for watching.